Hi, my name is Rudy. I made this website payitforward-kingdom.com. I've been working in the plumbing trade for a number of years, since 1989. I made this website so that when we pay taxes, that we have a way of paying it forward to ourselves. I think we as a society are taking the wrong approach to taxes. The first tax can't be to some guy named Steve Harper, Jack Layton, or any other government official. First. Second, whatever government we choose, let them get the money second. The first person that you need pay is yourself. If you make $100, $200, $500 job, whatever it is, I believe a portion of that money would need to go toward something like cleaning the water as a good thing, making a biosphere, doing something within the community that makes the community better and less dependent on the government for sustainability. Right now, we have to work really, really hard, pay a lot of money for our mortgages. I don't know how they write off all of their money and how all of that big business works. But I would like to see that humanity as a whole be less dependent on the government to taking care of them, be more responsible for their own self and their own environment. I think that me living in the GTA area, I should be held accountable for the quality of the lake water because I know how to make it good. I think that you who hear this should let me show you how. The incoming tap, I did that according to my factory here, and this is what Gelda Scientific said about the water that was in 2002, which was 6 years ago, and since then I think I've come a long way. The biochemist there, Damien Boyd, said, "I don't understand how your water is so clean without chlorine or ozone. Must be the crystals." So if you put energy in the crystal, and this is not no ordinary crystal, it's a pure crystal, and you dissolve this crystal, all of that energy that's in this crystal and all the goodness that's in this rock will go into the water. When you drink that water, it goes into you. And I believe that it feeds your cerebral cortex, makes you smarter. All the glial fibers, it's like fiber optic lines inside of your body, they call them glial fibers. And they transmit all the holographic images that you see in your mind's eye across the synapse. If we could make systems like this in our communities, have it tax-free, we should make these factories that further purify the tap water, make that water more like the water that's within us, and more like the neural liquid, make ourselves smarter. Also within this piping system, the water that's coming into the house, have that go through a special process that actually feeds us and helps us maintain our bodies and mostly our brains. We try to do this not first in our homes, but in a bigger place where we can have a bigger tank of water and share it and make that good and learn from it. And compare that water that's out there and the plumbing that's out there to the way our bodies are. And if we can do that in maybe 10, 15 places around the city and have it so that it's tax-free, that people can go and have it right away and give it to our elderly because they're very dehydrated. Feed the brain and see how our bodies react. It's helped me tremendously. I want to share it with others, and I want others to make it better and not just it be on my shoulders. Now I'd like to pretend that you're Stephen Harper and you've got $8 billion that you've spent in Afghanistan on warfare and trying to force your way of creating peace in a place that you've never been before, okay? Or just try to take that same money and do what I did and create little factories that purify the water and make it better. Just that one little thing, okay? Everybody's complaining about Harper spending $8 million in Afghanistan. I think that $8 billion, it's a lot of money. I did a little calculation. My shop for cleaning the water, it cost me roughly $50,000 to do it all over again. Let's supposing that I got a bigger tank. Instead of having a 1,000-gallon tank, I had a 10,000-gallon tank. From that 10,000-gallon tank, I could make 4 of those big bottles for 500 families. This would cost $100,000. To do that for every community all across Canada, there's roughly 7.5 million families here in Canada, 30 million people. I would have to have 15,000 of these units, little factories spread out through the country. We could all have the good clean water and juices that would feed our bodies. That would come to $15 million. So I don't know how many times 15 million goes into 8 billion, but I thought we could take that $8 billion that Harper and Economics spent, make good clean water for the world. The whole world would be a lot happier and there would be a lot less warfare going on. Harper wouldn't need to hire all these policemen and all these soldiers because, everybody'd be happy they'd have enough clean water. I believe we are all biologically water. Everything in nature is dependent on water. And if you could clean the water for that $8 billion all around the world, let's take all the money that the United States spent on Iraq and build biosphere so that we can all go up. So the answer to me is not which government we choose, but I think that the first tax that has to be spent on ourselves. Make the kingdom that's within our bodies better, and from there, if there's money left over for taxes to spend on roads and whatever have you, sure. But I think the first objective is to create health within our bodies and within the nature that's around us. If we as a society could do such a wonderful thing like this, how many people from Afghanistan that live here in Canada would go back to Afghanistan and tell whoever it is, the Taliban, all these places that don't have the good water or don't have enough food or are living in bad condition, how to create more nature in their country and create more bounty so that they all live better. If 15,000 of these little factories here in Canada working, not just me, but 15,000 people, 15,000 heads to make it better. Don't think that you can't make it better than what it is. We can always improve. I just believe that, for some reason, God gave me this crystal and this responsibility and made me a plumber. I think the biggest thing is to clean that water and make that water better for the host, whether it be a plant,